Hello and welcome to the Daily Ramble here on Claret and Booze. My name's Gary and the board are sitting on their hands. Wondering what to do next. I want to talk about that because it's frustrating as hell. And look, it's going to lead us somewhere, potentially, that we don't want to go. This kind of dystopian wasteland that could potentially happen with West Ham. And I'm going to explain exactly what could happen, but then I'm going to explain why it doesn't have to happen, right? So if you get me drift. So anyway, I think I've made my thoughts clear on David Moyes. Made them very clear. For me, it all hinged on the Leicester game. Beforehand I expected nothing. Now it was an improvement, it was an improved performance as we saw, but ultimately it delivered nothing. And this is the problem with Moyes. He'll just continue to shuffle the same pieces about in his preferred system. Now, most of the time, we'll be defence first, and occasionally, like Leicester, we'll try to attack and look totally inept in the final third. Now, the board are sitting there hoping that David Moyes becomes somebody else. Now, I don't think that's possible. I say that because it's not as if David Moyes himself will undergo the same sort of transformation, for instance, that he's expecting the team to go through. The manager's stuck in his ways. He's stuck in a rut. He's doing his old tried and tested ideas to death. And he's unable to flex, even though he's got an abundance of new attacking talent. He's unable to flex. He's absolutely certain that he's right. And he clearly doesn't have a clue why it isn't working. He has no idea how to make use of those new players, let alone design a system that can bring out the best in them. All this while other teams, even our peers, down the bottom, they realised there was a problem and they acted swiftly. Give you a couple of examples. Aston Villa, they now look very good. Wolves, they've got all the players, as we know, and they've got now a very decent progressive manager who is going to no doubt be very good. Now, I keep forgetting to put that thing up. Forest are scraping some results. And even Brighton. Now, Brighton were doing really well, and they went through the inconvenience of having their manager stolen away by Chelsea. They had another manager in within a week. They did not sit on their hands. They acted, and it worked. And Brighton have now got a manager who's just continuing what Potter started. Meanwhile, our lot are just going to sit on their hands and pass up a golden opportunity of swapping the manager out because apparently he's not doing well enough, but only another 3 games can confirm how well he is not doing. It's all based on some misguided concept, in my mind anyway, of loyalty. Last 2 years and all that stuff. Well, how long are we going to drone on about the last 2 years? I'm sick of hearing about it, to be honest. But what kind of future sits before us? If they continue sitting on their hands and this plays out the way it could play out, let me take you forward to June 2023, a month after West Ham had been relegated, and followed also a disappointing semi-final loss in the Conference League to Roma. You can see where this is going, right? West Ham have a European-sized squad, which we do have, that needs urgently thinning down and being desperate for cash to pay down the debt accrued from Moyes, his spending spree, and to get the wage bill under control. We're forced to sell our best players in cut-price deals. Declan Rice leaves for 60 million, while Bowen, Cornet, Kera, Antonio, Scamacca, Paqueta, Fornals, Areola, Souček, Soufal, Benrahma, Aguerd and Emerson are all sold for below their market value. Ogbonna retires for injury. Lanzini is let go on a free, while Dawson had already left in January when Newcastle had also stolen Harrison Ashby on a free. Someone agrees to take Kurt Zouma on a free because his knees are shot to pieces, and Lucas Fabianski is let go because his wages are too high. Even after all of those sales, we still haven't covered all of the outstanding player debt and loans. Those who stay and fight for the cause Ben Johnson, maybe. Flynn Downs, definitely. Aaron Cresswell, definitely, because he's just got another year's contract. Other than that, we need to start again. And West Ham, the board in desperation, they bring in another solid manager to rebuild on a shoestring, signing a load of ageing Premier League players who can no longer get a game for their clubs, plus a few Championship players as well. We struggle to sell season tickets because only the core 25,000 original fans, if you like, will tolerate watching Championship football. I'm one of them. And the enormous stadium will be eerily empty for every home game. As our team has been so stripped down, we won't be doing a Burnley or a Fulham and dominate the Championship. We'll be mid-table, but looking down. Visiting teams will love playing in the big open space with fans far away in the distance, so no home advantage whatsoever. The £9.50 chicken burger will seem totally out of place on a Wednesday night at home to Rotherham. The club shops in Lakeside and Romford will be boarded up through lack of interest in the 60 quid Championship shirt. We reach rock bottom, but maybe this time would see us fall even further. With a global recession and property crash, Gold and Sullivan, who a lot of their investments are in property, are not willing to throw good money after bad and sell their combined majority stake to a convicted fraudster from Thailand for a fraction of its market price. And Kretinsky takes pennies on the pound to get the hell out of Dodge. Now look, this is like a worst case dystopian nightmare that I just played back to you, but some or all of it could happen. It could. And there is no need for it to happen. I mean, certain West Ham fans like myself, we will stick with it no matter whether they're playing in League Two. So what? We'll still go and watch the club, but will I take any pleasure or any joy in it? No, probably not. I've supported us through thin and thin over the years. And one thing's for sure: when you're a West Ham fan, is when you have a small amount of relative success, it is always usually followed by an enormous crash. And that's kind of what's going to happen this time, in my view. But it's preventable. It is totally preventable. The board have got time on their hands. They've got 6 long weeks of World Cup time, of which they could spend the next 2 weeks trying to find a prime candidate, right? Trying to find a prime candidate who's intelligent, who's forward-thinking, who knows how to use all those great players that the board, to give them credit, have stumped up the cash for them to buy, for the manager to use, right? So they've showed great ambition in the summer. And unfortunately, they've just funded the wrong manager to take us forward. Now, I'm not necessarily blaming them for that. I think there would have been a lot of eyebrows raised, probably including myself, if they had got rid of Moyes last summer. But in hindsight, I think you've got to look at it and say, he's not a manager to develop a club to that next level. He is, as Nick says, a disaster recovery manager. So the board have proven that they will back a manager, and they've done this time and time again. I think I saw on a video this morning that we've been the 4th highest spending club in the Premier League, only behind, for the last 5 years, only behind a few of the big boys, and I think top 5 in the last 10 years. That shows that the board are backing their managers. Now, whether they're buying intelligently or not is another thing altogether. But look, the board are there for certain things. They're the guardians of the club. They are supposed to take decisions in the interest of the business. And I don't for one moment think that sitting on their hands is not making it's not giving them a kind of sense of trepidation, about whether they're doing the right thing or not. I'm sure they must have doubts in their mind, and as well they might have. This is a time they need to act, because if this goes wrong, it'll be completely on them. It won't be on Moyes. He'll be off into the distance. It will be on them. They have an opportunity to act, and they must act. So look, sorry about this. I'm sure I've depressed you a little bit today, painting that picture. I hope it doesn't come to that. Let's hope that the board do what they need to do and make a change very, very soon and turn this sinking ship around. All right. That is me done. Now, if you, I can't think for a reason why you would have enjoyed this video, but if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a, I'm trying to find the thing, yeah, there it is, please subscribe to our channel, Claret and Booze, hit the bell notification icon and give us a like, it all helps. That is me done. I think Nick and John will be back for other rambles. He did one yesterday, didn't he, Nick? Until next time, see you soon, and come on, you irons.